do you think that job would come to?
Absolutely not. Not the structure that's in place now. I mean, if it were 1996 and it was me, Ed Ferrara, and Vince McMahon in a heartbeat, I wouldn't think twice about it. But where the creative has evolved to this point, absolutely not. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that situation.
Is there anyone in WWE or TNA right now that you see becoming the face of the company in about 10 years?
There's a couple of people at WWE. Listen, man, creatively, I have a lot of issues with the WWE, and the main issue I have is it's 3 hours long. As a writer, you can't write a compelling 3-hour show. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a cartoon. I don't care if it's a drama. Or you can't write a 3-hour compelling show. That's the biggest issue. But they've got a great talent roster. I mean, there are guys on that roster that I love.
Oh, I'm sorry. Top 5, for example.
I mean, there's just so many guys. My favorite guy is, and I mean, I'm just scratching my head to what they're doing. Obviously, is Bray Wyatt. I mean, when somebody like that, that unique comes along, you got to treat somebody like that just special. But I mean, he's great. I mean, Ambrose is great. I wasn't a big fan of Seth Rollins at the beginning, but he's blown me away. There's really a lot of good talent.
Do you see anyone, taking that role as the face of the company, replacing Cena when Cena's gone?
I don't think it's there yet. I think there's a lot of guys jockeying for position, and I think you got to kind of see how that plays out. I don't think that person has stepped up yet. I think there's a lot of people taking steps, but I don't think that one person has really stood out yet. Over the course of 10 years, when the audience goes from 6 million, to 4 million, you've lost 2 million customers and 2 million people that you can sell everything else to. So like at the end of the day, everything really does start and end with ratings, because that's just going to be your core audience that's going to spend the money at the product at the end of the day. Yeah.
Not wrestling related, but after so many years of not being in New York, how does it feel to finally
be back? It feels great, man. Listen, this is the truth. I get the opportunity to go to a lot of places, and I don't. I mean, honestly, I'm a homebody. I don't like leaving my house. I work in my house. But when Joel called, I mean, the opportunity to come here, I mean, I jumped at it in a heartbeat, and it's great coming back here.
Say you're a head writer for WWE, what are some of the elements you would like to adjust to make the writing aspect?
Today?
Yes.
I think it's two. I mean, I think if they eliminated 2 things, it would be night and day to what it is. And the show needs to be 2 hours long, number one. And number two, there are way too many writers involved in the show. From what I understand, there are 20 to 30 writers. Now keep in mind, me and Ed were the only 2 writers, and we worked with Vince. Well, they went from that formula to 30 people. And I think, even though I'm not there, I think they spend a lot of their week running into each other. There's too many people. So I think if the show were cut down, which is not going to happen, and I think if they condense the writing team, I think the product would get better. You can write good PG television. I mean, I don't think that is hindering them whatsoever. I think what's hindering them more than that is that they're trying to write for too many audiences. I think that's really happening. And I mean, the examples are out there. I mean, one episode they got an alligator and a bunny rabbit, but then the next episode, Seth Rollins is curb stopping Ambrose into a pile of bricks. Then the next segment is Hoda and Kathy Lee that only housewives watch. I don't know who the show is. I don't know who the audience is. I mean, literally, I don't think it's a PG-13 issue at all. I really don't. I don't know who they're writing for.
Yeah, and sorry.
Okay.
Second question: what are your thoughts on Triple H sort of taking over?
Again, I don't know how the dynamic works. If he stands up to Vince, great. somebody needs to stand up to Vince, and somebody needs to tell Vince that, you know, in 2014, that isn't a great idea. And Hunt is brilliant. I worked with Hunter a lot of years. I can't say enough things about him. But I don't know what his relationship with Vince is. And I hope he has the ability to be honest, because I think Hunter can be successful.
If you could write for a particular like superstar diva in the wrestling industry now, who would you pick?
Well, you know, I would make it twofold, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I love Paige. And here's the deal. There's no way, I'm just going to say this, there's no way the WWE's not going to drop the ball on her. Because the problem is she's so young and she's so talented, they're not going to be able to write storylines long enough that are going to maximize her potential. They're not going to be able to do it. I'll tell you who, so I'd love to write for her, you know, first of all. But I'll tell you who I also would love to write for, because I think they take a lot of heat, and I don't think they deserve it. No, I'm a fan of the Bella Twins. I mean, you know, and again, I think if somebody concentrated on working with them rather than, you know, them just going to the ring and being stunning and beautiful, I think you could get them over, you know, with some really good storylines. I mean, you know, the fact that, you know, these girls, you know, were tight sisters for all these years, and then all of a sudden we hate each other. That's not their fault. You know, that's the people writing for them. So I mean, I think if they got some meat, that they could be good. I think it's great, but I think he needs to wrestle a bit. I mean, if Sting's going to wrestle, he's not getting any younger. You know, and they need to put him out there. You know, I mean, I'd love to see him compete again, but I think, you know, I mean, I think they need to put him out there.